Welcome back guys, today we're taking a look at the S.H.FIGUARTS Jujutsu Kaisen Shimetsu Kairyu or Culling Games Yuta Okkotsu. And if you're a Jujutsu Kaisen collector, then you'll know Yuta along with Toji, and Season 3 Yuji is another highly anticipated figure that's seen countless customs, third-party head sculpts, add-ons, you name it, to match Yuta's Culling Games look. But we finally have an official version that not only gives us his more mature Season 3 side part look, but also a completely re-engineered new body. So let's take a look and see how he compares to his Jujutsu Kaisen 0 counterpart and every other figure from the Jujutsu Kaisen line. First things first, let's see how Yuta stacks up against a couple of other figures from the Jujutsu Kaisen line. We have the Culling Games Yuji on the left and Jujutsu Kaisen 0 Yuta on the right. Height-wise, Season 3 Yuta is ever so slightly taller than Yuji and Yuta. To be honest, there really isn't too much of a difference. I believe Yuta is 5'11 in Season 3 compared to a 5'8", 5'9 Yuji, so I think a little bit more height difference would have been a little bit more accurate. We'll bring in the rest of the crew at the end of the video, but I think the biggest difference is in the size or mass of Season 3 Yuta compared to his slimmer, younger Zero self. This Culling Games Yuta, like Season 3 Yuji, just has a more solidly built frame, and I don't mean the engineering. Culling Games Yuta is a little broader, a little thicker, but still retains his slender, athletic appearance. While his outfit remains largely the same, it's the brand new sculpting and all new body design that really levels up this figure. Not to say that Zero Yuta is bad in any way, I still think the original release still holds its own compared to these new releases, but this new Yuta gives us a few improvements and some new articulation over the OG. The most noticeable for me being the shoulder joints. While the shoulders are still cut up for obvious reasons, it does a better job at concealing that exposed shoulder joint the original suffered from. The elbows are also sculpted to blend in more naturally with his jacket, and his torso now is broken up into 3 parts, very similar to the Naruto line. We'll get into that a little bit later on, but this does feel like a Naruto line figure in terms of articulation, and that's definitely a good thing. Jujutsu Sorcerers aren't exactly known for their complex looking outfits, and with Yuta it's his iconic white jacket, his slim black pants, and his white sneakers, which look very similar to All Stars. Simple doesn't necessarily mean bad, we still get a very anime accurate sculpt, some nice gold accents for his buttons, and a bit of blue shading along the bottom of his jacket to give the figure a little bit of depth. Now, just like Season 3 Yuji, Yuta's faceplates are magnificent. Very Season 3, very Culling Games, and I love it. It's got that grittier Season 3 look, the side part bangs haircut, and we get 5 different options, including your iconic sleepy eyes front on stare, and eyes looking down probably at Yuji and Naoya, and eyes looking up glare. There's also what I like to call crazy eyes Yuta, because you know shit's gonna get serious when he has this look. And probably one of his most iconic expressions, that forced laughing face. The crazy ones always smile the most. What's even better is we get 2 head sculpts, your normal side part draping bangs, but they've also thrown in an in-action, running, jumping, windswept hairpiece as well. QC issues? I got nothing so far, knock on wood, but everything seems to be smooth articulating, joints all working, nothing loose, nothing too tight, everything seems pretty good. And to be honest, I don't think I've ever come across an issue with the JJK line, so kudos to the production team for keeping things consistent. Alright, so let's take a look at the articulation, and I have Yuta's Cursed Tool arm on here, just to give you guys an idea of how it compares to his regular arm. So let's start off with the head. Yuta looks up, it's pretty decent, not anything amazing, but he does get some pretty good range. He looks down, but his collar piece here does get in the way. The collar piece as well as the neck piece both are individual pieces, independent pieces, so he does get some pretty good range going side to side. You get some nice tilts there, and of course you get a rotation, and the collar piece here does move with the neck. It is attached, as you can see here, to the neck there, but it is a separate piece. For the shoulders, both arms go a bit past 90 degrees. You get 360 rotation there. Same thing with the cursed tool arm. There's a bicep swivel, and you get some really good forward butterfly movement there, butterfly arm movement there. So he can definitely hold his sword with both hands, no problems. Back is just as good, you can see there. Very nice range. You get double jointed elbows for both arms. And you do have a ball joint here where I guess the sleeve of his jacket meets his actual forearm. So that's a nice bit of extra articulation, especially, for a sword wielding character like Yuta. There is, of course, a swivel at the hands and a hinge there as well. A very good hinge. Again, great for those sword wielding action poses. Same thing here for his arm gauntlet. You do have a swivel and you do have a hinge as well. So moving on to his torso articulation, broken up into 3 pieces. This bottom piece here is a separate floating piece. Not the greatest range going forward. I mean, it's nothing fantastic, but you do get a bit of range there going forward. Some range going back. There is some side to side tilt. There we go. Better side to side tilt there. And you do have a little bit of a swivel there at the upper torso, but most of it is going to come from the waist. So I mean, it's a little bit stiff going forward, but going side to side, your twists, everything else works pretty good. For his legs, we get a pretty good spread. Not perfectly 180, but it's definitely good enough. Yuta kicks up about a little bit past 90 degrees. He can't kick back because of the way that his butt is sculpted there. We do have upper thigh cut. A very good range with his knees there. His, I guess, cuffs at the end of his pants here are a separate piece, and they do rotate with the ankle, which is nice. His feet go down. The feet go up. You have your typical toe hinge and some very good ankle pivot as well. So all in all, I mean, I guess the only kind of disappointing aspect of Yuta's articulation is that he's a little bit stiff here in the torso, crunching forward, but everything else is pretty fantastic, and you can definitely get Yuta into some really great action poses, whether it's with his sword or, with him just throwing punches and kicks normally. For accessories, we get a good amount of Yuta related stuff. Not everything I would have liked this set to come with, but nevertheless a nice selection, including a nice selection of hands. First up, some fists, because we know Yuta can throw hands even without his cursed sword. There's a pair of finger splayed out hands for running, jumping, all your action stuff. Another pair of semi-open, semi-relaxed, semi-action hands to pair with your sword wielding poses, punching poses, sheath holding poses. Yuta definitely comes with a set of sword wielding hands, because I mean, it's Yuta, right? Here's a little comparison between his Zero sword and his Season 3 sword, and they're almost identical to each other, but there are slight differences. The handle with a new sword is a little bit shorter and thinner, and the blade is slightly more curved than the original. The colors are the same, red unpainted handle and gold accents. There's also a sheathed option this time that you can tab onto the side of his belt via a movable ball joint. It just pegs on there, pretty simple stuff, and you have yourself Yuta ready for action. If you have the Zero version, you can also use his shoulder-slung travel-ready sword for this new Yuta to give him an episode 1 or end of season 2 look. We also get Yuta's right flat palm domain expansion hand and also a set of high output curse energy hands. When Yuta is charging up his high output curse energy blast with fully manifested Rika by his side against Ryu. Epic scene, but people don't say epic anymore, so whatever the cool kids are saying these days, just replace epic with that word, I guess. The last accessory we get is his cursed arm tool. Yep, this is a cursed tool. We see Yuta using it in his fight against Ryu and Uro. After he summons Rika, she pulls it out of her chest and pops it on his right arm, I guess. I think it's more like armor in the anime, but for the figure itself, you actually remove the entire arm from the shoulder socket and replace it with an entirely new cursed tool arm. It's pretty easy to pop in and out, not that it's loose or anything, but you don't have to use too much excessive force. Once you get it out, it's as easy as popping the cursed tool arm in its place. Simple, clean, effective, I like it. So it's kind of bittersweet with Yuta here, since he's such a fantastic release, but we haven't gotten any new announcements from Tamashii Nations about any other upcoming releases. I am sure we will get more characters in the future. I mean, we have to, right? Toji and Yuji have sold out everywhere, and I'm expecting Yuta to fly off those shelves within the next couple of days as well. And I mean, that's what makes new figures, right? Market demand and lots of money for Bandai. At this moment, I am completely satisfied with the return of the Jujutsu Kaisen line. All 3 figures have been straight up aces, not completely perfect. Again, like I mentioned in my Yuja review, we need cursed energy effects, cursed energy effects, cursed energy effects, and more cursed energy effects. I mean, we see Yuta with pink stuff coming out of him like 80% of the time while he's fighting, so Tamashii needs to find an intuitive way to give us some cursed energy effects, please. But other than that, Yuta is 2 thumbs up. I just hope we get an announcement soon, preferably some more Culling Games characters. But until then, I'll be posing my Yuta next to my new Ichiban Kuji Master Line's last one, Rika, where he belongs. Alright guys, that's it for another review. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you were entertained. I will be back with some new S.H.FIGUARTS Naruto first before the new base form Goku that will be coming in next weekend. And more Attack on Titan Revoltech goodness on the way as well. Lots of reviews, lots of fun to be had before the end of the month. I'll see you guys back very soon, but until then, yoroshiku.